Hi.
Hi, I'm Autumn.
And I'm Jordan.
And we are the Sober Soul Sisters.
We are so excited to be teaming up with Soberocity and joining their hashtag Sober Squad. Soberocity, for those of you who don't know, is an online sober community where you can actually make a profile just like on other social medias and connect with just sober people around the country in the world. And they also throw sober events all around the country, and they have a ton of awesome initiatives, and they're doing a bunch of great things within the sober community to, I don't know, enhance the lives of sober people and connect sober people with other sober people.
I know for me it was really important to get connected with other like-minded people that are on the same path as me. Like, you know, coming into sobriety, I dropped a lot of my old friends, and I was able to build and create this network of people to help support me, you know what I mean? While I got sober and went through stuff, and I think that's what Soberocity's kind of there for.
Soberocity was founded by Michael Lohan a few years back, and I know when they were telling us about it initially, they had a hard time when they first got sober, like finding things to do, or like things they wanted to do, or people they wanted to do it with, or fun things to do, because you're learning how to have fun again without alcohol, drugs, etc. And that's how they kind of started coming up with this whole idea, was like to form an event, like, oh, we should make events for like sober people around the country, so they know they can go find people there, and like they're guaranteed to have fun together. So I thought that was really cool, and we just asked more and more questions about Soberocity, and every answer we got was such a positive thing. Like, it was such a positive way to impact the sober community. Also, another reason we wanted to team up with them, and we think they're awesome, is just like ending the stigma surrounding addiction, alcoholism, and recovery sobriety. Just being part of, like, I don't know, being a positive impact of normalizing that, you know? Because it's, I mean, so many people.
Yeah.
Like,
sober's the new drunk.
Am I right?
I mean,
I saw someone said, like, sober's the new black. Like, orange the new black, but sober's the new black.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's always in.
We should make t-shirts.
It's always cute. Let's do it. So we wanted to introduce ourselves. We have our own YouTube channel, the Sober Soul Sisters, and that's how Soberocity found us. And we were so honored when they asked us to partner up with them. We were like, oh.
Us? Like, are you sure you're talking to the right
her
people?
And yeah, we'd love that. Sure.
Any way to spread positivity and sobriety and normalizing being sober.
So, like, the reason Autumn and I even started the Sober Soul Sisters, which is like what we call our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, our Instagram, our Twitter, like the reason we started this whole thing was because we have gotten so much positivity, so many gifts because of being sober. Also, personally, within our relationship, I mentored Autumn for like 3 years. The first 3 years she was sober, and most of the first 4 years I was sober. And then she became one of my best friends and got another mentor, and since then we've just gotten closer and closer and closer. What we experience together is just like, how would you explain it?
Magical?
Magical.
Magical.
Yes, magical. What I experience in this relationship is just like, it's like all the positivity of the program all the time, going back and forth between each other. Like, we build each other up, we keep each other accountable.
We bounce ideas off each other.
Yes, we make each other laugh all the time. Like,
she's my sister.
Yeah, like she is my sister, and I feel like it's just what we experience together because of our recoveries is so special. And I was like, why don't we try to like spread this?
That. Yeah.
Like, what? I was like, we already get to positively affect so many people in the sober community where we live. Why don't we see if we can help or positively affect or help someone smile like other places, you know? Like, why don't we put this out there and just see like if it can help someone else or positively affect anything surrounding sobriety or just like being a human.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just kind of wanted to like introduce ourselves to the Soberocity family as the Sober Soul Sisters, and we're like really, really excited to be here and to, I don't know, reach out to all of you.
So, since you guys don't really know us, we just wanted to give you a quick rundown of what brought us into choosing sobriety. Not just what brought us in, but what keeps us in. So
it's a lot of people can stop, but a lot of people have a problem staying
stopped.
stopped. Like finding life worthwhile without drugs and alcohol.
And it takes a little bit of work to
get to the place where it's worth it.
Yeah, to keep going and trying to find that gold at the end of the rainbow. And I think we've struck the gold. Like, we put in a lot of work.
That's such a good way to
we
explain
did.
our relationship and like our sobriety.
Yeah, we've struck gold with it. And
yes, oh my God.
And we're not special, we're not different, we're not unique. I mean, everyone's special, different, and unique, but when it comes to our
mental illness, like
we're all the same. And I think with us, we just put in the work and did these little things every single day to better ourselves, and they pay off. So,
and there's like so many avenues to getting and staying sober or finding recovery, and like we just happened to be lucky enough to find the one that worked for us while we were still like young and
find each other.
Yeah, and we were able to find each other, because now that you say that, I really do like feel like, obviously with my sobriety and recovery, like I feel like I've struck gold in my own life, and I feel like I keep mining that gold as I keep doing the things to stay sober.
Yeah, you just keep digging and you keep finding more.
Such a good way to explain our relationship is that I feel like I struck friendship and sisterhood gold when it comes to Autumn, and I love her so much, and I experienced so much awesome because of her, and I just wanted to like throw that out into the world. Hopefully someone else could experience the awesome.
What, in a nutshell, what brought you in?
I knew from a very young age, after I started putting substances into my body, alcohol, drugs, etc., I saw very quickly that I was different from my fellows. I saw that it mattered more to me.
Me too.
Yeah, I noticed like really early on in my teens that like it's more important to me than it is to these people. I noticed that it was different for me really early on, and that it was a higher priority to me even at a really young age. And from there, really what brought me here was like, I always got loaded when I put in anything. Like I always went to the extreme. Even when I eventually got to the point where I was trying to control it and stop and like bring it back, pull back, I couldn't do it. Like I failed countless times. Like I kept making attempts to like only drink 3 beers or only do this or only do that, and I couldn't do it. And that's when it got really scary, was when I realized that even when I try to not get so messed up, I can't do it. Once I put in, like I can't stop.
Like you always tell yourself, well, 3 didn't do anything really, so I could have another one, and then you break that invisible boundary you gave yourself.
Yeah, I'm like 3. You know, like
the next one's gonna get me there, and then it's like, well, that didn't get me there. The next one will get me there.
How I explain that is I would have this conversation in my head, but I always lost to the drink or drug.
Yeah.
I always lost to the mental illness that is addiction. I would have this thought of like, well, Jordan, you're at the limit you set for yourself. Like, okay, respect that limit, and then within a millisecond, wouldn't even finish that whole thought, and it was like, no, you're gonna do it. It wins. It's gonna win every time. So it got to the point where really early on, I got sober when I was 20. My sobriety date is 2/22 of 2014. I was 20 years old, and I was miserable. I had run my life based on self-will, selfishness, getting everything I wanted, no matter who it hurt. And as a result, I drank and used more and more and more, to the point where I could not stop even when I tried. And I got so miserable, and I became this empty shell of a human being. And
I know that feeling.
I was at this point where I couldn't live with it and I couldn't live without it. And luckily, like, thank the universe, like, thank God, like, I had a friend who had gotten sober, and she was able to introduce me to the recovery lifestyle and help me to get started on my journey. But what brought you here, Autumn?
Well, the last time I drank, I had told myself that I wasn't going to. I was going out of town for a work function. I hadn't drank in 2 weeks, and I was very proud of myself. And all week, I'd been like, okay, y'all get as drunk as you want. I'm gonna be the DD. And I honestly, in my heart, believed that I was not gonna drink. And I knew I wasn't gonna drink. And that Friday night that we got there, they cracked open a beer, offered it to me. And at first, I was like, no, I'm not gonna drink. And like 2 seconds later, I was like, yeah, whatever. And I was blackout the whole weekend. I just remember riding home after that weekend on a Sunday morning, and this like energy or sound or something was just like, this is it, this is how you're gonna die. And I remember that so profoundly. I hope I never forget that feeling, because it literally felt like my fate had been sealed, and I believed it. That was the first time I'd ever heard something like that and felt something like that. I remember sort of asking the universe, like, oh, I hope that's not true, like, help me, you know? 3 days later, a friend found me on Facebook and was like, hey, do you want to go to a meeting with me? And I was like a 12-step meeting, and I was like, yeah. And something inside me said to go, and that friend introduced me to Jordan at that first meeting. And I don't remember what the meeting was about. I just remember seeing her walk in, and he told me to ask her for help, and I did, and I don't know why I did. I just did, because that's not me. And we've been inseparable ever since. And I've been sober since October 5th, 2014, 8 months after Jordan got sober. And hopefully it stays that way forever. I have goosebumps.
Maybe I'm gonna cry.
I literally do. They're little, but
I had that same voice in my head, but it would say different things. And I remember thinking, like, okay, when I have kids, I'll have to be better. And I remember this voice telling me, like, this small voice was always there saying, like, you're not gonna get better.
Yeah, you know better
like,
than that.
You're not gonna get better. And I was like, shh, like, stop that.
Neither one of us have relapsed, and I really think it has such a huge thing, like a huge part to do with being so close with other people in recovery, which is one reason why I think we've been so drawn and just humbled and honored to be a part of Soberocity, because that's what they're about, is bringing people together. And if it wasn't for our friendship and our group of friends that are also sober, like, I don't think either one of us would be here.
No, I would not be here without the people who talked about their recovery, without the people who willingly gave their time to, like, help others, the people online and in person that have been open and honest about their recovery and their sobriety experience. And like she said, we are just so honored to be partnering up with Soberocity, because they do so much to try and help the sobriety community and the recovery community.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, if you go on their website, we'll put the link to their website down below. There's so much stuff. It'll be like events, contacts, like information, blogs, like they have video. You can make your own profile and connect with friends and stuff. Soberocity just has an abundant amount of resources on their website for people who are looking to get and stay sober.
And meet other people that have been through the same stuff they're going through.
We have a profile on there. You can go be friends with us. We're the Sober Soul at Sober Soul Sisters on Soberocity, and you can go be friends with us. Yeah, reach out to us, say hi. We'd love to talk with you. So, Autumn, what keeps you in recovery?
I think, and you might not believe me, there's so much. There's literally an infinite amount. Anything besides drugs and alcohol is the reason why I stay sober. I came in and I started the recovery process being sober, waking up and feeling just proud of myself, proud to be awake, proud to be alive, proud to know where my car is, my keys, my clothes, my phone. Like, that's such a big win. Yeah, it's so small, but it's such a big win. And when I did that enough, and I knew I was putting in the work to, like, better myself consistently, like, the high that I get from doing the work that it takes to stay sober is better than any other feeling that drugs and alcohol ever gave me. Like, the smallest things just have the biggest impact and make me feel so freaking good.
The stuff I was most scared of doing, which was looking at myself, owning my wrongs, working on myself, feeling anything, facing anything difficult emotionally, mentally, physically. All these things I was so terrified that, like, getting and staying sober required of me to, like, live a happy, sober life. I did all those things, and it turned out to be the most liberating thing in the world. To finally just, like,
facing the truth in yourself.
Face myself. I thought that would be the worst thing that could happen. Yeah. But it turned out to be the most liberating thing. And, like, I met the most amazing people. Drug addicts and alcoholics are some of the most amazing people. We're hilarious too, yeah. When we use our powers that we put so much energy to, like, stay messed up, when we use those for good, we were some of those most amazing people I've ever met. Even my parents, like, my family's like, all these people that are sober are just, like, some of the best people I've ever met. And I'm like,
it's incredible.
They really are. I'm just, like, so humbled to be a part of it. It definitely gets harder before it gets easier. And I was driven by the fact that I was miserable and I was so tired of living the way I had that I did that work and I keep doing that work. And I have a life today that I never could have imagined. Back in the day, my life looked exactly how I thought I wanted it because I ran the show and I did everything for me and I was so selfish and I was the most miserable I've ever been. And today my life looks nothing like I thought it would and I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Yeah, me too. And recovery can be different for everyone. It can be 12-step based, it can be faith-based, it can be, you know, just going to therapy.
There's Buddhist faith. Like it can just be like, there's so many avenues to getting and staying sober.
That's what it's about. Like sobriety to me is this huge shift in the way my mind works. It's instead of running to drugs and alcohol to get through a situation, I actually work through a situation and my first thought isn't to get high or drunk anymore. It's, you know, that's a bad idea, like try this instead, call another woman.
Reach out to another person in sobriety, ask how they've gotten through something similar.
Yes. And it's just like, all of a sudden I wake up one day and drugs and alcohol aren't my number one on my list anymore. And it's such a cool thing. And like, if I could relive that every day. But the first time I remember thinking like, drugs and alcohol aren't my number one anymore, like was one of the best days of my life.
Yes, I remember thinking about like, oh, I haven't thought about using a drug or drinking in weeks. Like you know, like, haven't thought about it.
You don't know it's happening when it's happening. It's like hindsight's 20/20. Yeah. Like life's a hard teacher. They give you the test first and the lesson later. But really, like, life just lets me live it, and then I get to look back and I get to see all the growth and like the exciting things that happen.
That is so deep. You are so smart.
Thank you.
She's so smart, you guys. I'm lucky to have her, and I feel like y'all are lucky to have
you. Stop it. Everybody's
Don't stop.
lucky.
We're so grateful to be teaming up with such an awesome organization.
Yeah.
And we just want to positively affect the world around us as
That's
much
all
as
we
we
wanna
can.
do.
We just want to like spread the positivity and the gold we feel like we've struck within our recovery and within our relationship, and just like hopefully make someone else's life like a little better, their day a little better, positively affect in any way we can.
Just relate to someone else. Like if we can just relate to another person or they
So
can relate
important.
to us, like that's basically the whole goal for us. Is to just make someone else feel like they're not alone. Like I've felt that way, I've thought that thing, I've done that thing.
Yeah.
And this is what we did to get through it, you can too.
This was a lot of info, but we just want to give you a quick insight to like who we are, why it's worth it to stay sober, and why we don't want to go back to the drink or the drug.
Yeah. And any questions y'all have, like what we do on a daily basis, anything like that, please let us know. Like we'd love to go over more specific things with you in a, you know, in a later video or whatever.
Yeah, and we'll put our links to our Sober Soul Sisters social medias and YouTube channel in the description box below as well, so you can reach out to us there. Like I said, you can go make a profile of your own on Soberocity and find us on there and message us. And while you're on Soberocity, you can go check out their blogs, their wall, all these things. You can go check out their sober merch. They have some really cute sober merchandise and shirts, mugs, towels, bags, like super cute stuff, you guys.
And if you use the code Soul Sisters, you can get 10% off your first item purchased.
Yes, check it out. We'll put the link to the store below. If you would, we'd really appreciate it. If you subscribe to Soberocity's YouTube, hop over to our YouTube channel and subscribe and hit the notification bell on Soberocity's YouTube and ours so you can see whenever we upload. If you enjoyed this, we hope we positively affected you today.
And please share our videos to help share the love.
Drop a comment down below if you related to any of this or you have any questions, and like this video.
Thanks, Soberocity.
Thanks, Soberocity. And again, we're the Sober Soul Sisters, and thank you so much for watching and having us.
Bye.
Bye.